Gentlemen, by now you should know how critical it is to make a great first impression. Whether or not you're meeting a new client for work, making new friends socially, or hitting on that spicy senorita, your success is going to be determined by how they feel about you in the all-important first 10 seconds. Because that's all you get. 10 seconds, they have already decided whether or not they're going to hire you, fire you, hang out with you, or give you a smooch at the end of the night. Now, for the most part, I feel confident that you are, for all intents and purposes, first impressions solid. But there are 5 things that no matter how charming you are, will crush, and not in a good crush, I'm talking totally destroy your first impression. And we work too hard, you, me, to screw the first impression pooch. Gentlemen, today I'm going over 5 of the biggest first impression mistakes men make and how to fix them. First impression mistake number 1, shaking hands like a pussy. There is nothing worse than shaking somebody's hand and it just kind of crumbles into this floppy, wet nothingness, right? But the problem is that unless you practice a good firm handshake, you got no way to tell if yours is good or bad. And so what I would recommend is actually grab your boys or a buddy or a father or your mother, because she should have a good handshake too. Practice. Bang! Shake it, gentlemen. Shake it. Get in there. Web to web. Grip and rip. Mistake number 2, failure to maintain eye contact. When I meet somebody and they won't actually look me in the eye, A, I don't think I can, I missed the finger. A, I don't think I can trust them, and B, if I do anything with them, I know that I can totally dominate them because they look weak. Eye contact, gentlemen. If you're not making it, the person that you are engaging with may potentially take advantage of you or feel that they can. And if they do, you're doomed because nobody respects somebody who doesn't look them in the eye. First impression mistake number 3, you stink. Funky, stinky, nasty breath, horrible halitosis is a no-go. If you're ever engaging with somebody and it's like, oh God, they just ate a hoagie because their breath smells like onions, even all that hot, stinky funk all over you. First impression ruined! The other issue and way that you can totally destroy a great first impression is wearing too much cologne. Take it easy, killer. No need to bathe in it. 1, 2, possibly 3, but you really need to be careful. I would recommend err on the side of less as opposed to more. First impression mistake number 4. Sweaty pits. Fact, sweat rings suck. Fact, sweat rings are embarrassing. Fact, the more nervous you get, the worse this gets. It's absolutely avoidable though. I did a video where I went over 3 things that you can do to prevent sweat rings. If you missed that video, it is listed and linked down in the description. The best one, hands down, has got to be the Thompson Tee. This undershirt is a confidence, first impression hack from the gods. The people over at Thompson Tee. They got together and they're like, yo, we're tired of sweating through undershirts, through shirts. We don't want to look like savages. And so like, yo, we got to fix the problem and come up with a better solution. Bingo, bango, Thompson Tee, the patented undershirt. The deal is, inside each of the armpit regions of the Thompson Tee, you actually have barriers built into the undershirt. They're antimicrobial pads that don't stink, they don't get bacteria, they're machine washable. The whole deal is that these t-shirts actually prevent the sweat from getting through. Alright, I've tried little stick-on pads, I've tried pretty much everything, including plain t-shirts. And when you really get sweating, or you get nervous, or it's hot outside, you blow right through that. You're still sweating bullets, but none of the sweat is actually showing. The Thompson Tees come in all different sizes, shapes. You got V-necks, you got crew necks, you got black, you got gray, all different options. If you guys want to check them out, there's a link down below along with a discount code AlphaM to save you 15% off. And first impression mistake number 5, your grooming game is non-existent. Of course, you all know the importance of making sure that your nose hair is clean. I'm going to give you one more reason, boogers. Have you ever had a bat in the cave or one that's hanging down and you look in the mirror and you're mortified because you're like, how long has that been there? All the people walking around that you've been talking to has seen this dangling piece of nastiness? Horrible. Ever caught a glimpse into somebody's ear who is not exactly the most hygienic person in the world? It is crazy long eyebrows. Gentlemen, right here, this, right, yeah, grooming game strong. The first impression. To say it's important would be the understatement of the century. To say it's absolutely freaking critical would be about accurate. Alright, and if you're making one of these 5 common first impression mistakes, you're totally sabotaging your first impression game. I've met people and been like, hey, nice to meet you. I've also met people and been like, hey, I don't want to touch your hand, you filthy freaking animal gentleman. Make sure your game is tight and your first impression on point.